card for Janet's born day. You know what I'm saying?
No
So
doubt.
yeah, age, boy. Let me just say that age.
Here we
Sabrina, what to
are.
do?
It's Sabrina Lewis. Welcome, welcome.
It's like I ain't seen you in a month of Sundays.
Feels that long. Let's see. Does she have audio? Let me check.
Okay.
I know she got the camera. I don't see the little microphone though.
Can you hear?
Let me see. She can't. We can't hear you. If you can hear us. Let me see.
Yeah. Forgive us. IT has not reported yet. With these technical difficulties.
Trust me, I'm having problems with my camera too. If you can hear. So I don't know. These things is boy. Let me see. Exactly. Tech issues indeed. Yeah, see, I got the like you got a mic, I got a mic, but she only has a camera. I don't know what in the heck in the world.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
There we go. Yeah.
Now I can hear you.
Okay. So look at this new little gadget my friend got for me. He said it would be really helpful if I sound more clear.
Oh, yes, you do. That is an amazing microphone right there. Yes, that is the blue. That's a blue podcast mic. I know exactly that microphone. That's a good one.
It's silver.
Yeah, it's yeah, the company blue makes it. I'm sorry.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, no, I get it. I do get it. Went over my head. I'm having technical issues too with the camera, so don't worry. I don't know.
Okay, I wish I had issues with my camera today because I have to wear these glasses so that like the light from the computer doesn't bug my eyes because I've been on the computer a lot lately.
I see. Yeah. Gotta wear those anti-glares, right?
Yes, exactly what they are.
Good. Yep.
Look, I need my glasses so old. The anti-glare done came up off of them. I need to get me some new ones.
But these are specifically, they're not even, like, I don't have a prescription. These are specifically made. You know the screens they put over computers to stop the harm from your eyes?
Yes.
That's what these glasses do. Gotcha. Period. That's their sole purpose.
Yep.
Oh, I need mine. I'm blind.
Oh. I got 2020.
Yeah.
That's cool though. The glasses actually are made that way, like to where they're anti-glare for the computers and they're going with the time.
Oh yeah, definitely. They got good deals out there. I do the same thing because I got 2020 as well, but I wear those glasses too for.
Look, I ain't even finna get into y'all 2020s, and I'm sitting over
wearing
here.
Glasses
I'm sitting over wearing glasses. Yeah,
who wears glasses?
People with 2020 vision.
Just to block the computer light.
Look, I'm 1 in 1. I'm 1 in 1. My vision 1 in 1.
Not sure what that means, but all right.
P-O.
I never went above the 2020 line, so I couldn't tell you, son.
Well, how you been, man? It seemed like we ain't seen you in a month of Sundays.
Yeah.
It has been.
I've been good. I can't complain. My health is blessed. I have all my loved ones still, so you know I've been good.
Wow.
That's what's up, man. We definitely miss you. That's all. Let me throw that out there. We definitely.
No doubt. How about this election that just went down, huh? Oh snap! Yep.
This is crazy. You know what I posted on the thing, or I wanted to know if Trump talking about the election was rigged and demanding recounts, they need to go ahead and just recount all of them for the Senate as well, House, the Senate. If you're gonna count everything, count everybody vote, and then his people gonna be mad if they lose on this recount because he wanted them to recount it. You know what I'm saying?
It's like there's a bigger issue with him like requesting. It's not a problem with requesting recounts. The problem is that you're playing with a democracy. And if every time there's an election, because someone feels like they shouldn't have lost, I don't think anyone who runs feels like they should have lost. But if every time that happens, especially with that particular position, that's problematic. That's going to lead way for violence. It's going to lead way for any foreign entities. At least when you start messing with the democracy, now we got a problem. Okay, like, sir. But there was this clip of Hillary Clinton. Did y'all see it? Where when she was running against him, she was like, I don't know if anybody notices, and she says it in that exact tone. I don't know if anybody notices, but he seems to think everyone's against him whenever he doesn't win. And it's a really big problem. It's going to be even a bigger problem if he loses the election. And he didn't lose that election, but he's losing this one. And that is problematic when you cannot congratulate and allow the democracy to go as it is set forth to go. Like,
exactly.
That's problematic.
It definitely is, man.
Very problematic.
He trying not to go to jail, so he trying to hold on, because they can't arrest him while he president. So soon as he get out of office, walk off that lawn, it's a wrap. He going to jail.
Well, he's definitely going to court.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, true.
I heard New York has like 30 subpoenas waiting, but that's just one state. So yeah, he knows he's in trouble. It's just like Sabrina said, though, it is a problem of safety for our country when you are playing with the transition of power like he is, because you can't just tell a person overnight what it is they have to do for the rest of the next 4 years for the country. You have to slowly let them transition. And
he's not doing it.
No, he's not really
playing golf. I saw him playing golf. Like, what the hell are you doing on the golf course? Aren't you trying to save yourself this election and trying to win? But you just complaining. Dang, I'm gonna go play golf. Like, oh, okay.
It's not even just that. It's like you are like, I'm not gonna say he's aggravating me, but to act that way is to enhance the minds of individuals who look to destroy others or who are empowered by this behavior and have been historically in the last 4 years violent towards people that they feel don't belong in America, they feel that are second-class citizens, that they feel are threatening their way of life. You're empowering them. And if you give them an edge off, people like that will take it. And it's really scary. Like, all this time you keep saying you're not racist, you're not this, you're not that, you're not this, you're not that. But right now you have an opportunity to ensure that people who may have those views are not enabled to feel it's okay to act the way they are acting.
Yeah, but it's just showing you that he is who we think he is. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And he never, and even when they were doing the first debate, you know what I mean? He never denounced or anything like that. He never said nothing against when they asked direct questions about the Ku Klux Klan, about, racism. He never said nothing. He just said, stand down for now or some shit. You know what I mean? Like
you're commander-in-chief of right. I'm not gonna comment on that. I'm just
okay.
I'm gonna let that one go. Like, he's commander-in-chief. He was commander-in-chief of the U.S. But if you're telling people who may have a view that they are militant or that they are military, that it's okay. Right now, I just want you to stand down, take that order, soldier. You're engaging with them. You're engaging with an audience, and him coming from entertainment. I think sometimes he thinks more on the marketing side, right? And that's problematic. That's problematic because when you're selling a product, that's one thing. But when you're talking about people, their way of lives, and their everyday lives, their rights, like, you're you're really affecting that, and you're thinking it all about a marketing. And sometimes I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe he's not a racist, but the problem is he has this idea that people are products. You know, they're just a part of a bigger system, which is true to an extent, but not to the extent that you're trying to treat them like their product. And that happens a lot of times on jobs. You know, you see people treated more like a product than they are treated like a human being. And it's happening on a much larger scale. So
it definitely is. And I saw it was something on Netflix about Trump and how he got, how he is the way that he is and his business savvy. I mean, now you can't take the business portion of it away from him. But like you said, he's treating the country as if it were The Apprentice or something. You know what I'm saying? Like
But everybody keeps saying he's business savvy. My question is,
what?
Yeah.
What is your supporting?
Right.
Oh, I mean,
I wanted to ask that same question.
Yeah.
I mean, people keep saying that because it's been said.
Well, no, the reason I say it.
Where's the supporting documentation? And what do you consider a successful business? Is it one that's bankrupt, or
okay? Well,
is it one that borrows money from foreign entities?
Yeah, that man bankrupt over 7 times.
He definitely is, but at the same time, he's still got people building stuff for him, and he old people. But I mean, hey,
that's fine. He can talk. That's fine.
But no,
let's not give him. I mean,
go ahead.
I was watching this Fix My Life, right? With what's her name?
Iyanla Fix My Life.
Iyanla. I do not want to say her name wrong because I have so much respect for her. Like, I think she's amazing. Me and my 9 brothers and sisters all need to go on there so she can fix our lives too. I might need to write her a letter. But she did this exercise where the woman came in, right? The mom came in and she had him look into a mirror. Now the mirror is distorted, right? And she said, well, on the cards it says, tell me what you see. And the mother says, I see a strong and powerful woman, right? And then the daughter comes in, right? And she says, tell me what you see. Well, that's what the cards say. And so, of course, the video is recording and it says, I see a strong and powerful, beautiful, business-minded, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. She goes on and on and on. Woman. And when she sits down to talk to the mother, when she sits down, she brought it to the attention of both of them, but she really, really capitalized on it when she saw the daughter. She said, your mom did the exact same thing. She said, it's funny that you never said anything about the fact that the vision is distorted. It was like one of those little circus mirrors, And she said you kept looking past that to make something it's not. You kept calling it this. You kept saying that was a strong pose, but that mirror was not reflecting a strong pose, right? So it's like, are we doing that exact same thing right now? Are we looking at something distorted and calling it something else because it's been called something else all of this time? Because that's what we want to see. That's how we want to rationalize the behavior of others. Because that's all it is. It's a rationalization of behavior.
Yeah, no, that ain't what I meant.
But I'm just saying, when you say he a businessman, that's what I'm hearing.
Everything that he had and all of this other stuff. I ain't, you know what I mean?
But
what did he have that rationalizes that he was a good businessman?
Okay, so I'm looking at his buildings. I'm looking at when I watched this little movie. He had games. He had several different things. So I was saying about this movie that he was a good businessman.
What was the longevity of those things?
That I do not know.
So I think a really good business model is something that can carry longevity, like Amazon. It started off as one thing, constantly progressed, and today you see it as this thing that is disruptive in regards to the business world, disrupting groceries, disrupting shipping, disrupting audibles, like book audibles. It disrupted everything. And so my question is, where is the longevity in that statement? Anybody can start a business.
This is true.
But will your business last? And I think that that's a good reflection of any business person. You know, everything has its entry point and its exit point in the market. But the business itself can stay even if the products go. That's not happening. Is he a good marketer? Yes, for the moment, because he plays off the emotion, which is okay. That's a type of seductive behavior. I don't know if y'all have ever read the book Laws of Seduction. Have you ever read that? Okay, that's a type of behavior. You guys should definitely read that book. It's a really good read. But beyond that, tell me what do you define as good business? Is it seeing a lot of things?
Well, let me say this. When I say I see him saying he wants something and going for it. You know what I mean? That was the whole thing. Like I want to do this. I want to do that. Now, his funds, okay. I don't know about his funds, but I mean, if he like with a lot of the stuff that I've seen, go sip your tea. But he went for it and he did it regardless of the cost. You know what I mean?
So, motivated.
Huh?
That's called being motivated.
Okay, well, maybe I'll reword that and say
he has high motivation.
Yes. Yeah, like he get it. You know what I'm saying? Even with his TV shows, even though they ain't nothing, you know what I mean? But he said, okay, I want to do this and did it. I like that in anybody that's a business person or not a business person, just a person in general doing what you say you want to do. Now, I don't agree with him on all this other stuff, but you know what I'm saying? If somebody going, does he do it? Look, I got a co-host today.
Some of his business.
Come on, co-host.
Come on, co-host. Come on, co-host.
You gotta step on.
That's what I'm trying to say. Soon as I was gonna give my turn to jump in the rope, I was gonna say that he might have had a lot of businesses, but it doesn't make him a good businessman.
If I started off with a nice little golden nugget from somebody in my family, I think I'd have been a great business person if that's all it took to be a business person.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to it. Maybe, like I said, I probably worded it wrong, but the way that he go out there is what he want. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was looking at, and that's the same thing he doing.
Yeah, but the way he
it goes back to that distorted view, right? Yeah. People were attracted to that enough to say that this is presidential material.
Oh, that wasn't one of them people.
No, America.
I know you were not one of those people, but you can see the logic in it and how that distorted view of something can lead down the wrong path.
Right.
It could.
America
it did
turned the White House into a reality show for the last 4 years. Right. It's
definitely. But what it did do is also show the mind of a lot of Americans, you know what I'm saying, or people that wanted to come out their bag. They definitely came out their bag on this one, you know what I'm saying. And then even with the election, now you see people got tired of it, because before they was all for it. Yeah, make America great again, we're this, and you see all of these racist people come out and think they can do whatever they want to do because of him, you know what I'm saying, which it wasn't good at all. But then I like the fact that at election time, you saw the country say, we don't want no more of this. You know what I'm saying?
Did we really see the country say that? Those numbers were close.
They definitely were. But it's like he didn't get it though.
He didn't get it, and I'm happy that he did not get it. Y'all know I couldn't speak my opinion on who I was going for left and right before, but now that we have one, I mean, I congratulate who's there, right? Exactly. So I think that it went to show, it went to prove me wrong that Blacks have more power in America than what we were led to believe when it came to voting. I'm all about voting. I'm like, everybody vote at the local level, right? It's going to make a difference. I never identified that it could make that massive of a difference in the presidential elections. Right. So to see those few cities turn completely blue and everybody and their mama come out to vote, to be able to swing the electoral vote, right?
Right.
was beautiful because you have all of these factors against us when it comes to the electoral vote through gerrymandering and constantly changing the boundaries of different voting areas. And I never thought that it would make a difference on the presidential level, and to see that it did was beautiful. Like, it literally had me in tears. Because one of my friends, he made a shirt, came out with it. You guys should go purchase and support. And the shirt says, Black America saved America. And then it was like, Philly saved America, Atlanta saved America. And it's just like all these different shirts. And to me, it's surreal. Like, I never thought that, because I mean, people can try to say, oh, well, the white female vote mattered, but the white female vote is kind of showing up where the white male vote was showing. So it was really the Black vote that changed things. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to say that because I hear echo. Am I loud?
Nah, it's my new speaker. Is that good?
That microphone.
My new mic. Look, I don't even know what it's called. My new mic.
I could tell that you are coming through hot on that mic. That mic picks up very well.
I have to start a singing career up in here.
Yeah, hot in a technical sense. It's the level.
My geeky girl status today.
It's a good mic. I actually missed mine. I had one, but it was a USB, and I didn't use USB. It's a technical thing, but I missed that microphone. That's a very good one.
Yeah, I had to get a webcam to go with my laptop because the microphone is USB.
Yeah, I see the light reflecting through your glasses. You got that good ring light too. I need one of them myself.
Yeah, I always have the ring light. Yeah. That's not bad. I'll send you the link to the one that I got.
Okay. Yeah, that's what's up. I know they out there, and they do help. That's for sure. Lighting is important. Yeah.
I got a Logitech camera to go on my laptop.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So good.
1080 is clear.
What's the site or the link? You know what I mean? So we could probably put it in the YouTube feed as well.
For the shirts?
The shirts and everything. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna text it to you.
Okay, so that was good.
Definitely could throw that up there along with the other links that they can connect to Miss Black Texas USA 2020. Go in the description, you guys. All the links are in there to connect to Sabrina if you need to ask a question, donate, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I did say I didn't see much of nothing happen today, but actually something good in history happened today, and it helped out a lot. The first ship back in 1913 came through the Panama Canal because they finished it off and everything. You know what I'm saying? So that did a lot. Excuse me. I'm sorry, golly. That did a lot connecting, the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. You know what I'm saying? With the ships coming in with goods and all of this and that. I actually saw a movie where they were making the canal. It was nuts. But yeah, that did happen today, November 17th, 1913. First ship went through that joint. Yeah, that was. I just thought about that. My bad. Oh man. But man, anything else? What's been up? What's been going on with you, man?
How's the money tips going?
How's what?
The money tips going.
Boy, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you a boy. You're a grown man. So I have been recording money tips, and I thought that they were automatically uploading, and then they're not, because I had scheduled for them to go out. So my money tips just not. It's like they don't want to go out. And I'm a little upset because I went to an actual studio and recorded them. So I'll be trying to figure out that debacle eventually one day.
Gotcha.
I was so looking. I was like,
I know, and I'm
trying to find them. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Y'all make me feel so bad. And by the time I realized it, I was like, why is it not you know, and when I try to, I don't know if the file is too big or it's too, I don't want to say too professional, but like the camera that he was using and is sending over to me, I don't know if that's the problem or what's happening. I really don't know.
Yeah.
So,
It's all right.
I mean, I could just try to upload it from my computer.
Yeah, because I was like, man, I've been trying to find it. I went on Instagram, Facebook, all 15 of your pages. I was like,
Yeah. Since Stamp couldn't find them, give us one of them facts that didn't.
yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So one of my facts I actually did was in regards to savings, because you know I did one on savings, but people are constantly like, I can't save. And so I did one, and I had listed, and I'm really upset that one didn't post, because I had listed several banks, and it was like, you know, if you put so much in, then they match you. Like Capital One's doing one for $450. Amegy, I believe, is doing one as well. But
okay.
Yeah, basically it was in regards to putting your money into different banks and being able to save that way. So I preach, or I say, or I advise that you do not put your savings at the same bank that your checking is located.
And for what reason?
It's too available.
10-4.
And so everything becomes an emergency.
Too available to you to spend it, you mean?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yes. So me personally, I have an account, and it's at a credit union. That credit union is only located in Beaumont, Texas. I do not live in Beaumont, Texas.
Oh.
So one or two things has to happen for me to get the money. It's a credit union. It's open some odd hours. So I would have to go in between those hours. It really has to be an emergency for me to go physically pick it up. Or B, I have to wait about 3 days for it to transfer. And usually when you feel inclined to buy something that's not an emergency, you don't really want it after 3 days. You know what I mean? Like Fashion Nova is having a sale.
And then
I need dress pants.
It would
for
make
work.
sense not to get a debit card with this account, because then you have access to it, right?
Yes.
So you want
to
to
not get a debit card with that.
Put it somewhere and don't use the functions that allow you to get the money the easiest way.
Yeah, or you can just, you can open up a checking if you want it to be a checking, and you just tell the bank that I don't want a debit card. Or when that debit card comes in, you cut it up.
Right.
Don't ever activate it. Don't ever do anything like that, because it'll make it too available to you. And so there was one point in time I thought I was broke, and I opened up that account and I realized that I was not broke and I was okay in life. Like really, like pay my rent for 3 months. Okay.
Dig it.
Fix my car, make a $1,500 repair on it. Okay. And pay the rent and buy food.
Right.
And hit a Fashion Nova.
Hey, look, it's good that you say that, because I just did what you said we should do. Because I opened up, I got a checking and a savings account, you know what I'm saying? And I was sitting there like, dang, I need this little change. Let me just transfer this over to I was like, God, now I looked at my account and was like, okay.
Savings gone.
Time to build up again. But you make a great point with that though.
So I'm gonna let y'all choose right now.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about Dave Ramsey. I read Dave Ramsey's book this past week. So we could talk about Dave Ramsey, or we could talk about banks.
Or we could talk about both.
Oh yeah, go for it.
No, we're gonna talk about one of the other. I gotta have some content for next week, y'all. Y'all is draining me, baby. It's draining me.
When I hear Ramsey, I'm thinking of the chef. So I didn't.
No, the financial connoisseur. He's amazing.
Well,
but I think banks is appropriate this week.
Okay, there you go. All right, let's do banks.
Because we were already talking about savings and putting your money into another bank account. So I think it's appropriate.
Let's go with the bank.
Chef Ramsey for next time. I mean,
cooking up them finances though. Okay.
Right.
So there are some important features about banks that I think people don't think about asking. They don't think about questioning. And it costs in the long run. Like, one, does your bank charge a monthly fee? And two, how much is that monthly fee? But more importantly, do you have to pay that monthly fee?
Yeah, I know a couple of banks that I had, it was a fee if you didn't have direct deposit or something. If you didn't have so much going into the account on a reoccurring basis, then they charge you that fee. But do the people have to pay those fees, or was?
Nope. Not all the time. Depending, banks are like anything else. It's a product. You're shopping for it. Shop till you drop, you know. If you're a student, you can get a waiver for that. That message me? You can get a waiver for that. Sometimes even if you're a certain income level or maybe even demographic, you can get a waiver for that. Sometimes you can even get that fee lowered from, like, some of these fees are $10 a month and you don't even notice it because it's so reoccurring, like extremely, extremely reoccurring. And I think that that's very, very important. And there's actually this, I want to call them a nonprofit, but I'm not sure. They're called Bank On, and they're all across the US. And that's why I was looking at my phone to see exactly if they have them in Atlanta and Impact. I wonder where they're at.
You said it was called Bank On?
Bank On. And as a matter of fact, I'm about research contact us coalitions. And pretty much their whole goal. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. Stamp, you in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if they got it in Georgia. Here goes the South. Georgia, they have one Bank On in Savannah and one Bank On in Atlanta. I'm gonna send you the link for that.
Definitely want to check
and that. What this organization does is I'm about to check you in a minute, Gino. I ain't forgot about you.
Uh-oh.
Hold on 1 second. Let me check out Illinois too, but let me send this. So,
okay.
There we go. And let's see if they got one in Illinois. They have account standards that are good for the everyday person. And they've linked up within their area with certain banks that are agreeing to meet these account standards. Because y'all's partners is Chase, Capital One, because we only have like 9-10 partners in Houston. But First Choice Credit Union, Atlanta Habitat for Humanity, Bank Oz, Cadence Bank, CareSource, Chase Bank, Credit Union of Atlanta, Department of Watershed Management. And the thing is, when you click these banks, like, let's just click. Let's try. What happened to Atlanta Bank, Credit Union of Atlanta? When you click those banks, it's going to tell you which account you need to ask them to open so that you get the benefits that they're offering. So let's go back over here to Illinois. Where is Illinois? In the Northeast?
Midwest.
Right
around.
She a spot for Midwest. Let's go back up. Oh, here you go. Bank On Chicago.
Okay.
So you guys have one too. Let me go ahead and send you the link. And I'm sending y'all the links directly to y'all cities. But there are links to all other different kind of cities. But pretty much, they have their standards, whether it's your fee is less than $5 or they can get your fee completely waived, making sure that you don't have overdraft, all these other types of things to help people who are constantly being preyed upon by financial institutions. You know, like, yeah, we know about overdraft, but do we really know that we can get an account that doesn't have overdraft protection so that it just denies it? It doesn't charge you that little $29 fee. That's not a little fee, but a $20 fee because it even tried to charge it.
Man, I know I got a few accounts. Well, I had a few accounts like that where it just don't go through.
and they charge you even though it didn't go through.
Well, no, they didn't.
They didn't charge you, it just declined. So that's like an overdraft. That's like no overdraft on there. So therefore you are protected against that. Like if I make a $10 or $5 purchase, do I really want to pay $29 for it?
On the real. I had a few where it was like $1 came out, and then next thing I know, it was $39.90 something of an overdraft fee. I'm like, hold on, y'all tweaking.
Yeah, Chase used to do me like that. I don't play with them no more about that.
Yeah, but what are some of the benefits outside of the fees and everything? What are some of the benefits of bank that you?
Some of the benefits, I'm about to pull it up right now because I don't want to misspeak on their coalitions and they about information,
Sure, I get to it.
All right, so basically, their main goal is to, improve the American household financially. The benefit of going with them is that you sometimes might get like a matching program where when you put in this amount, you get matched for this amount. And then also, of course, like I said, the banking benefits of not having to pay the monthly fees, letting you know whenever something comes through, like let's say your banker or whatever knows that you have kids and they just opened up a new savings program specifically for children and you qualify for it, they're going to let you know that. So Bank On specifically is about getting people to put their money into banks, because a lot of times in minority communities, there's like a distrust and a disconnect between us and financial institutions because of how you're treated. And it's also to keep people away from these check cashing places, these payday loan places, because they're taking advantage. It's like legalized loan sharking.
Oh, it definitely is. And my wife had mentioned that it's like 400% interest on the loan if you get it. You know what I'm saying? Because she used to work 6. See, that's too much.
Because when you add in the fees, so man, Dave Ramsey, be quiet. Be quiet, Dave. Be quiet. Be quiet. Okay. Because I read this book just this week. But when you add in the fees for the documentation that they're charging, right? And let's say I borrow $200 from my loan place because that's all you qualify for, even though you're probably bringing in $1,600 every 2 weeks. They're probably gonna get about a good $700 out of you if you're making the monthly payment.
Yeah. Look, I've been there, so I definitely know.
That's crazy. And they're strategic. And Dave, man, come on. I know, like, I already knew it before I read your book, but you in my head right now. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and bring him up. So Dave Ramsey and I, as I was reading his book, I was like, maybe it's not true. Maybe it's not just in these poor neighborhoods, but no, it is. It's in a lot of these minority neighborhoods, and these are considered the pillars of these neighborhoods for financial institutions. You're not going to see them in wealthy neighborhoods where people know about money because they're not going to play that game with you.
Right.
They're not going to play that game. They're going to be like, nah, I'll just catch the bus to work for the next 2 weeks. Like, it's not an option. You create a need, and then you fill that need with something that is detrimental to that community that only pulls them back down, or those individuals down even further than where they already were. And it's quite sad. It's sickening, honestly. Even cashing checks. When did cashing a check supposed to be $1, $2, or a percentage of the money that you getting from somebody?
Man. That's why, look, I hated that one. I've done all of these things that you're speaking of.
I got one when I was in college. I'm not going to tell a fib or tell a lie. Sabrina has not always been financially savvy. I thought about the things that I saw my mom do or that I saw other people around me do. And I did them in order to go get money so that I could make a bill on time that probably wouldn't even have gotten cut off within the next week. Or if my stuff does get cut off, I know people I could have went and stayed with them for a few days. you know, and we don't think about it in that term. We think of it as an all-in be all. So let me see what else. Let me go to their account standards
I
real
mean, it's
quick.
good that you are speaking on it and that you know, because you breaking the chain. You know what I'm saying? It's like those generational curses. You know what I mean? And that's one thing with you knowing and learning more about finance. You're breaking that curse for the next generation, and it's good that you speak on it and let people know. You know what I mean? So that's a plus. And I had to learn the hard way.
I'm gonna put
Um,
this. So these are the bank on standards. Hold on, I'm gonna send this to y'all right now because y'all know I get off the phone. If y'all let me get off the radio station with y'all don't get nothing from me. It's sad. I will say it out loud. You won't get nothing from me because I'll be on the go. So these are bank on standards, and so when we looking at them, y'all.
okay.
I don't know if y'all looking at them with me. I don't know. Can I share it?
Yeah, you I think you could share your screen. Am I correct in saying that, G?
Yeah, you could. Yeah, there should be a screen share button somewhere.
Hold on. Let me pull it up so y'all don't see all of mine.
Let me make sure. I think I've given you guys.
Where is it?
That beat in the background is sick. Who's that guy? What is that song?
What?
My name Stamp. Yeah, you should. I mean, I think you can share. Let me see.
Yeah, I was trying. Oh yeah, it should be at the bottom where it says share screen. It's like a green.
Let me
Yeah,
see.
it's a green
Oh,
button.
you know what? That's me. I could have just did that. Can y'all see my screen?
We can see you.
We can see you. Yeah.
See? Oh. Well, it seems as though.
When you hit it, you should. When you push that button, then you got to select the screen the image you want to share, and then highlight that.
Oh,
Then hit share.
okay.
Yeah.
This is hard.
We're living in a tech age. This is crazy.
Guys, how old am I?
I ain't even gonna talk about no age. Oh Lord Jesus. I done felt mine this whole week. Last week, rather. It's been crazy, man.
Every one of them years.
Boy.
Ain't it?
That's more like, I don't know. It's telling me I can record and stuff. It's okay. So
we got the link right here. We'll definitely, pull that up.
Yeah.
So it does the banking alerts for free, of course. Monthly statements, $2 or less, because they be charging. Some banks do charge for your monthly statements to come into the mail. Most times you can get that waived. Of course, they have to be FDIC insured, but also NCUSIF insured. And free cash and checks in branch and ATM direct deposits. All of these banks are going to offer that. If they don't offer it, in order to be a part of the bank on community, they have to offer that. Bill pay. At some banks, you actually pay to pay your bills. Did you guys know that?
Nope.
On some of their bill pays? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. They yeah, and you don't even know that you're doing it. Sometimes it'll say, oh, it's a 25-cent charge, and you really don't even think about it. But if you ever go to pay something really large, or maybe you get a card note or something, it becomes it's a lot larger than what you were anticipating. These banks require, because sometimes people don't open up bank accounts because they don't have much left over at the end of the month anyway to be opening up a bank account. These banks require $25 or less.
Okay.
Some of them is not even $25. Some of them you don't have to have a minimum account balance, because like you were saying earlier, if you don't have a certain amount come in or a certain balance in there, that they will charge you a monthly fee. The monthly maintenance fee, if not waivable, must be $5 or less.
So that
huh?
No, I'm looking at that too. I'm looking at the form that you sent that link.
Yeah.
You said it must be $5 or less to be able to waive it.
If it's not waivable. If they can't waive it, they cannot charge you more than $5. if they're a part of this network. And so it's really just a good, how do I put it? I want to call it a Facebook, but it's not a Facebook. It's a really good way to gauge what banks you want to go and open up an account at. And a lot of times when banks are joining this network, it's because a lot of times they'll have even more things available to you when you call them. So it's not like they'll have like financial literacy seminars, lots of scholarships, insurance available added onto the account. Like, who is it? It was a bank. They had several different accounts, and they were the codes for the accounts were colors. So in these accounts, they had different insurance available if you opened up the account. And I'm not talking about insurance for your account per se only, but I'm talking about if you had an account, this particular account, like the red account or the blue account or the gold account or the yellow account, whatever the account may or may not be, you may have also had insurance on your phone. So they're going to cover your telephone. They're going to do your renter's insurance, all of that, just because you have that account.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, so reason why I suggest Bank On is specifically because, yeah, those banks are already wanting to do the right things by people. So
this particular, so Bank On, like you had mentioned a few banks out here. So you said like Chase, or if you are with one of these banks that is in this program, like would you go ahead and say, oh, well, I see that you guys are with, Bank On. What other programs do you have, or what other things do you have? Like, how would somebody, go to the bank that they already have if they're part of this program? Like, what would they say, or what would they do?
So you would go to the website, the Bank On, like the link I sent you for your particular city, you could go there, and it's going to change from city to city. I'm not saying Chase is not Bank On in every city, but just using them as an example, just say Chase is in Houston, but it's not in Atlanta, right? So you go to that website, you see all the banks, and you click on it, and it's going to tell you which account that they are offering to make sure that it meets this standard, right? And then you can say, hey, I see you have the checking debit pay account, right? That's with the Bank On standard. What else do you have available for someone to help them with their banking needs and products? That's it. What else do you have that you think would be helpful for me?
Okay, dig it.
They'll let you know. Like, is it Capital One? Somebody is doing where they match you for your down payment on your home if you don't touch the account or something like that. And I'm sorry, I cannot remember who it was, but they were doing that.
I'm gonna be searching like it ain't nothing. You gonna match my down payment? Thank you.
But look for it, because I'm gonna be honest, that's a good little, I'm not gonna say it's a side hustle because it's a good little source of revenue. Like paying attention to which one of these banks are offering you money to put money into an account. Right. Like Capital One right now is offering for, and I'm not trying to give advertisement, but I'm just telling you what I know. Capital One is offering for, if you get at least $2,000 deposited, which may be 1 or 2 checks for somebody in 60 days, they're going to give you $450.
Man, look, I got a Capital One credit card and a car payment. So I'm trying.
So they have a Capital, like it's a 360 account.
Okay.
And a lot of these banks, they do that, and sometimes you get like the advertisement in the mail and stuff. But if you just pick a day once a month or once every 6 weeks where you just check and you Google who's offering match right now for, not who's offering, but banks that are, how do I type it in? I think I type it in, banks who are offering money for you to open an account, something like that. I type in, and there's always some blogger out there who just does that on a regular basis. Like there's couponers out there who do that on a regular basis, and it's not $400 is not much money, but it may knock off a car note. It will, if you decide to go with Dave Ramsey's plan and follow the 7 steps, you know, that could help you get your $1,000 savings account up and running. It could knock off an expense. It could even knock off a credit card balance. You know, that's something that's helpful. Now, all of them is not that great, and some of them have some ironies request of you, like, oh, you have to keep an balance of $5,000 in my checking.
Like, man, look the way my bank account set up.
Yeah, so it may not, so you know, it may not be the best idea for every single occasion, but it is something I would say, you know, look into.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's some good information right there, man. Because I'm definitely gonna look into it. You know what I mean, and see what's up. I like the bank on thing. I'm gonna look into that. And I hope that the people out there, you know what I'm saying, y'all take heed to this, because it's a lot of things that we're not told, you know what I mean? And they do that purposely because they don't want you to know all the good stuff you can get and try to get whatever they can up out of you. But that's decent, man. I love every minute of that right there. Mm-hmm. And what was the name of the book that you were reading?
Dave Ramsey. Oh shit, what's the name of that book? Oh my god. And I just finished it. And it should be on my desk right now, but it's not. Hold on one second. Let me see. And I took a picture and sent it to somebody. The Total Money Makeover.
The risotto.
You said what?
The Total Money Makeover.
Okay, the Total Money Makeover, people. Y'all go check it out, man. I'm definitely
We're gonna talk about it next week.
Oh,
really good.
Oh,
really good. Have you read it, Gino?
No.
Have you heard about it?
I have not. I apologize.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna see if because I just got my free 30-day. Well, my 30-day Amazon Prime is almost up, so I'm gonna go on here.
Your Audible, yeah, I'm gonna get that Audible. Yes, I love Audible. Yeah, it gets me out of bed in the morning.
But that's what's up, man. So it's the 30-day money makeover. Let me write.
No, it's just called the free money. What happened to it? It's called the Total Money Makeover. It's not no 30-day nothing. Ain't no 30-day nothing. Dave Ramsey is very big on that. There are some points with him that I agree, and some points I disagree. But his methods have been proven. Okay, but I didn't use his methods to get where I'm at. Not all of his methods. Matter of fact, I didn't know who he was when I started collaborating my ideas together, you know, about how I wanted to be successful and do well financially or be well financially. So, but there, like, he doesn't believe in credit, y'all. He don't like it. He don't believe in borrowing money to live your life. He don't believe in that, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. We'll talk about it next week on how I feel about it.
I can't wait till next week to talk about it.
Yeah, he don't believe in the idea of good debt. He think all debt is bad debt, and that's fine because that mindset keeps you from falling victim to certain things. So I understand it.
Hey, I'm gonna go on Amazon right now and look at this book.
It's a good book. It's a really good book.
What's the ticket on it? Like, what's the price on the?
I'm gonna say mine was like, I didn't even check. I just had it sitting in my thing. I have a budget for books, and that's just what I use.
Oh wow.
Do you have Audible though?
No. I mean, I got a Kindle. I guess that's the same thing, huh? As an Audible, because they get.
Yeah. I've never tried Kindle.
Oh, when you go to Amazon, you get the books that, you know, the audio books or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that's cool. I definitely sit there and listen to it while I'm at work, trying to work but not really working. Yes, I'll be at work not working.
I be really having that problem. Then I wake up at like 3:00 in the morning and just go in and go ham. It's crazy. Money makeover. Let me see how much it was.
Okay, well, definitely check it out. They give me they say a 30-day free trial on this.
It's $11 to own the book.
Oh yeah, that's what's up.
$11.89 Prime. You get it by Thursday.
If y'all have $11, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and cop that.
Invest in your future.
Yes.
Tell them
we might need to make this Dave Ramsey like what do you call it? A series.
Okay. Hey.
We might. I'm telling you, it's that good. Like you be having series for your Genesis, your Exodus, your Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Them books of the Bible. If y'all didn't know, y'all, them books of the Bible. We might need to do that for Dave Ramsey.
So you're gonna say, turn in your books, turn in your total money maker to page 5, chapter 6, verse. I could dig that, man. Hey, check it out, man, because I know every time we talk, time just flies like it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Do you have any requests or anything that you would like to hear on today?
Yeah, I don't have a song picked out for today. I'm sorry. Let's go hit up my YouTube music and see what I was.
I've been putting you on the spot all this whole time, ain't I? Golly.
Why is none of my okay, I don't think this was a bad one, because none of my songs seem appropriate. Oh, you know what? 12 Problems by Rap City.
12 Problems?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the by rap? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's the that would also be the dyslexic version of 21 Questions. I'm sorry. What? That presented itself because 12 questions would be, if you were dyslexic, 21 would be 12, right? So
this is true.
I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, Kanye, and I didn't say it originally. Kanye West did. He said, "Is something about it's funny to see the dropout keeping kids in the school or something." And then he says, "They favorite 50 Cent song, 12 Questions." So when you said that line just instantly clicked in my head. Like, wait, Kanye, 12 questions. Wait.
Oh, no. The song was 21 Questions, and he called it 12 Questions.
Right, because he's making fun technically of dyslexia, saying that if you're dyslexic, you would associate 50 Cent's song 21 Questions as 12 questions.
So is he trying to say this generation is backwards?
Yeah, it was the whole, man, what song was I got to get you the song, because that's pretty much what he's talking about in the song, is how he finds it funny that this was before the Kardashian Kanye, by the way. I just want to put that out there. He was more into speaking upon the way they were using the lyrics of hip hop and using the I'm looking for that word, the right way to put this, because it does make sense. You know, kids are going to sponge and do exactly what they see in their peers. And you just said it a minute ago when you were talking about credit and how you watched your people come up and use credit. So of course that's how we learn, right? So that's what he was explaining, and that using hip hop as opposed to teaching, it's funny how you can get through to people and do both, you know, instead
it's like you need to know your homework, like, you know, them lyrics lines that your parents be spitting at you.
Yeah. And instead of alienating the two, see, had my mother used it as, she always used it as, you know, every damn hip hop line, but you don't know your homework like that. And I kept hearing it. Now, had she reiterated that and said, since you know all them damn words, why don't you go ahead and make a damn rap out of that homework? Then I would have been like, oh shit, that sounds like something I should do. So, you know, you instead of trying to alienate something that is getting through to the kids, no, get through to them with what's getting through. Use it though to teach, and use it in a good way. And that's just where it came from. Sorry, that whole 12. I even lost what the heck you said about the 12. I just remember 12 questions.
But I mean, that actually makes a lot of sense. And hip hop does that a lot. To be a culture where, for Black culture to be a culture where we use a lot of metaphorical and the way we use words is so unique. It's so unique. It makes these connections all the time, and we like, yo, like that's hot. But that's really how we think. That's how old people talk to us. That's how our moms talk to us. That I don't know if y'all ever heard this one. I'm from the South. You don't believe fat meat greasy, do you?
I was just thinking that.
Like that connection is crazy. Wow. Like you be like some people hear and they be like, what? But some people hear lyrics to songs and they be like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear a Drake song, they I want to say Wheezy because I really like this music. Okay. Sometimes when you hear those pillars of the hip hop community and how they put words together and made connections, it pulled in all these other cultures to want to be like them in how they spoke and how they moved in music. It's so crazy that we never use that to advance ourselves as a people. So I feel you, Gino. That's pretty much what I'm saying. I feel you.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a definite tool, and we should use it a bit more for good. I'm a little bit on the fence about today's hip hop and how the artists are very, very much more intellectual than they lead themselves to be today, and opposed to our hip hop, which was 90s and early 2000s. You didn't. It was a little different in how the hip hop artist was created. But anyway, we don't. That could be a whole nother hour. I'm telling you.
Like a series, turn to you.
Yes.
Romans chapter 2.
Well, it all goes into play because see, in the 90s, there was a meeting where they all talked about this so-called way of promoting hip hop so that it does in turn affect the prison system, which does in turn affect the political system, which does in turn affect everything else in the nation. So yes, this all can go into what you are even talking about when it comes to money, banks, and policies and this and that. Hip hop is designed to exactly do what you seeing it do on TV. And that's where knowing this now, because we didn't know this before, thanks to technology and the social media platforms that we do have, you can find information a little bit better these days, right? So we should now use this information to say, wait a minute, let's turn this around. Why are we letting them utilize hip hop to put black males and brown males in jail as opposed to help them uplift? Whenever you hear an uplifting hip hop song, does it do as well as, Cardi B talking about killing Nicki Minaj? No. That song does way better. So
I was about to say something.
Yeah, I'm sure. There's a lot of debate on it.
I know, like, I feel like I got the Holy Ghost. Okay, so this is going back to what Stamp said earlier about Trump having all those things and it looking like he's a good businessman, and that's what some may perceive to be good business, right? I think that really goes back to as far as it affecting those who may agree with him, to maybe some things in the hip hop community where they're constantly pushing that urge to have things, right?
Well, yeah, it was actually designed that way, right? You are right. They rather connect with the negative to push exactly wants it. Why would you rather push to the community you say you come from that was barren, it didn't have stores, it didn't have things that you need, but you rather go push that Gucci bag to the kid than saying go and do something about that neighborhood, go and do something about what you don't have, as opposed to why you trying to incite the fact that if I have a Gucci belt on, now I'm part of this.
But it's all advertisement. It's all advertisement because you create you create this and that's probably why I called him a good marketer. Yes. Trump a good marketer. Yes. But it's like you create this constant subconscious need and desire. So even if I know that I got to pay my car note at the end of the month, and I see these shoes for $300, which has never happened to me. It will never happen to me. I'm letting you know that right now. If I spend $300, I'm gonna have enough shoes for the whole year.
Right. Okay. Exactly.
So that's just me. I don't know about everybody else, but that's me.
Smart, though. Yeah.
But it's like something in you is constantly urging you to spend your funds and your income elsewhere. And I'll never quite fully understand it, me personally. And I don't know if it's something in me that maybe didn't get programmed when I was younger, because I was more of a reader, like literally like an encyclopedia reader. If that's what happened, I wasn't as interactive with my siblings. And so maybe something didn't get programmed in me, but things like Gucci, Prada, Birkin, all of that, it seems strange to me. And I don't want anyone to think that, oh, because she came from such and such. No, I'm from the hood. So right. It hits, it's constantly hitting around home, but I don't see the desire for it. Like, I don't see the desire to spend my money on it. And some of my siblings, they're like that too. Like, they're like, yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a
I just need some new shoes.
That don't, but those of us that don't wouldn't make a dent in their pocketbooks. So it's great that you know that, and that there's others around you that share those ideas. The thing is that you're hitting everything that I was trying to sum up quickly, but to go a little more in detail, my whole problem is that nowadays these rap artists, believe it or not, you could even look into it, they have Harvard degrees. They understand these practices and these mottos more even so today than they did just 10, 15, 20 years ago. And now that we know that, and you went to the school, you got the education, why do you continue to use that same tactic to make your money as opposed to changing the tactic on them and not allow? But there's also things that prevent them even, and that they would go broke. And that's another issue with, so are you just taking it because you know you can make money, or are you taking it because you're really trying to change something? So and being
slave mentality, that's how slavery stayed slavery for so long, because you're so afraid that what you have is not good enough if people are not dumbed down enough, ignorant enough, or in need enough. So if that is anyone's and I'm not speaking to hip hop artists as a whole, but if that is your motive for continuing that,
right,
that means you don't believe in what you got. Because I would rather have a rich person buy my product, right? An educated person, not that I wouldn't want somebody uneducated, but an educated person to buy my product because I know that they know what they're getting and they really wanted it. To me, as a creative, that would be more important to me.
And that would be plenty of money for you to survive on. But the human factor of greed in some of us, not all of us, those that are greedy, they will rather take, instead of the conscious person buying one of them, they'd rather get the unconscious to buy 5 of them that they don't need. And that's where they use the unconsciousness. Because remember what I said, this was all designed. They sat at a table and specifically made sure that they led it this way. Now, we weren't aware. That's where I'm trying to say we should change it. Yes, all these ideals, I'm with you. We need to change that idea. We don't need 5 of them. We need 1 of them. We don't need to be buying things that we can't afford. If we are in that tax bracket, then so be it. But if you're not, then you should not be doing that. You shouldn't be telling my 16-year-old son, and I was 16 once too, and I remember them trying to push Jordans and things onto me, and I couldn't get it. Like you said, couldn't afford it. So it wasn't even a thought. It was just like, oh, okay, seen the ad, cool, but not gonna get those. So now, though, they're even more so that I know that these guys are smart to this way that we know it was designed. Don't push me and don't push that same agenda to the young crowd. You need to stop, because we know more information today. 20 years ago, I couldn't make this argument because this information wasn't available, but now it is. So why are you using a Harvard degree to still go back to the neighborhood you came from and tell these same individuals, go ahead and get this stuff you know you don't need? Why are you doing it? Why don't you go back and say, I went to school, I got this knowledge. Let's fix this. Let's change this.
Nipsey Hussle.
You know why it is definitely the reason being, G, is hard to change something, it's easy to jump in and
But
it's
we
easy
gotta
to fit
push.
in. I mean, we do, but think about everybody that has tried to change something. They either blackballed, you know what I'm saying? They're not playing their music for, they're not playing their music or something happening to them because they're going against the grain. So a lot of people feel like it's easier to just roll with the punches and do this than
Exactly.
to try to change it. And that's the messed up thing. And I'm glad that we do what we do because we don't give a shit what y'all think.
We
You
still
know what I'm saying? Like we gonna talk, we gonna speak our mind and educate people to to certain things, man. And it's like nobody can hold us back from doing that. And we just bring it to the people, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just it's
Concerned. I'm so concerned that it's not even going against the grain because I feel like being in hip hop is all about going against the grain.
yes.
Being
yeah,
black culture
definitely
is
is.
all about going against the grain. So I think it's I can't speak to any individual's intentions, right? I can't do that. I can't. Everybody wants to eat. Everybody wants their family to eat. Everybody wants their family to do well. But if you know that the power you have with your words, why would you not use them appropriately? And then this is something else too, I guess you could think about, is that I know a lot of hip hop artists make their money overseas, like sales and stuff. When it comes to money, they really not pulling in that much money from the
Yeah.
American people. You know what I'm saying? But when we're talking about Birkins, uh, what's her name?
Well,
What
I just specifically me is the messages. We could talk numbers, all of that, but you pushing the message. Every time I turn on a video, every time I turn on a new song, it's all about how many chains. It's all and that's been the same. And that's what I mean. After being a hip hop artist since I can remember. I mean, I must have been 10, 11 years old when I fell in love with this art, and it is an art, and there is a reason for it. And I believe that we now have learned more, but we're still doing, as you just said, the
think
same.
it's a rewrite though of the narrative, don't you?
Right,
Because
right.
historically, hip hop has been about telling the black story with the black voice and the black drum behind it.
Of course.
Historically,
And it came from blues, which was telling stories of being, you know poor, and being, just not granted the same things as others. And of course, those stories and those messages that they were telling, that turned into hip hop. And then hip hop exactly did the same thing and told of the stories of being poor and being underprivileged and not having the things that you believe you want, which is what we are saying. See, 20 years ago, I thought I needed to have a big house. Now I know I don't need that. 20 years ago, I thought I needed to have some sort of fast car, flashy car. Now I know I just need a motor and four wheels. If it's gonna get me there, amen. So if we know this, why are we using that same message to keep pushing the we're not pushing that message, we're pushing the opposite. Get a house with 12 bedrooms. Do we really need that stuff? Do we
I don't
really?
know. I got 9 brothers and sisters, and I don't want them staying
Well,
in my room.
necessity is one thing, but to feel it, amen, go get it. But if you don't, if it's just you and your girl and it's 20, 20 rooms, 12 bathrooms, 12 bedroom, do you really need all that space? That's what I mean.
I
If we're
ain't
talking
cleaning all
about,
that up.
yeah, if we're talking about being smart with money and doing things the right way, I guess we want to say. I don't know if there's really a right way. It's the way you feel is right? And then, so I mean, but we can take advices and we can do these things. So are we, are we doing the right thing by showing a young image or a young mind that is really focusing on this image at that moment? They look at how many streams these songs get, look at how many views these videos get. And when you got
I think it's an idea of escape too.
4 minutes, yeah, but if you got 4 minutes to impact 20 million people, why do you want to show the same stuff we saw 20 years ago that didn't get nobody nowhere? All the people who were screaming jewelry back in, I don't know anybody that I remember when I was younger being flashy like they were being real successful today. Very few, and that's the percentage. Very few make it, so to speak. But we can improve that percentage, I think, if we.
I think a lot of it goes back to, and I think I pointed this out before, that one of the main, according to a McKinsey report back in 2018, 2017, 2018, maybe, possibly 2019, the McKinsey report pretty much was talking about racial inequity and specifically the racial wealth gap and the four different things that were missing from the Black community, or that were impacting the Black community to where they were not able to build wealth, and is the predominant reasons for racial inequity. But all of it led back to racism and discrimination. But one of those things was community context. And I think one thing that we see right now, and we find ourselves getting very angry and very upset about, is the ability for individuals who are not Black to put on Black culture, sell it, and make money. But the thing about them is that they can separate that entertainment piece from reality. And I think it's not that I think, it does not happen in the Black community that's a separation, right? That is a culture, a religion, it is a way of life, it is how people wake up, grind, move in the Black community. And that is problematic when the words to your songs are not necessarily, are not always, you can't take my power from me, like you may hear sometimes in a Beyonce song, or it's not, I can be what I want to be. I know y'all remember that song. When you're not hearing that on a regular basis, right? It's not feeding back into the community the way it should. So you have this, you're trying to rip away culture from Black people, and somebody has morphed their culture into just entertainment. It's the idea of other and exoticizing, and it's problematic on so many levels. But then you see white individuals, Asian individuals, who can personify this, and there's sometimes a hint of jealousy there. That's, how come they can rep my culture and make money from it, but I can't?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And it's because their community context does not hold it as a holy grail. There are several songs, when you hear them, they have this beat in the background, and it's hitting your ancestral roots, and it's hitting you because it was built from your culture. It was built from the sounds of a Black church. It was built from that hand clapping, that foot stomping that you hear, that they put back into the percussion and then into the woodwinds and all of that they're putting out there into the music. It's I want to just make it really simple and say it vibes way different. So I don't know if it's necessarily a problem of the music, but a fact that we cannot separate what's happening in the music from real life, right? Because if you have 4 minutes, would you make 4 million with it? Or would you just try to reach 20 million and hope that they get your message? There are very few people out there who can really hypothetically do that. You know, you have Beyonce, who makes a lot of positive music now, right? And it's just like, but everybody can't do that. You have your Cardi B's that can't really, I'm not going to say Cardi B doesn't make positive music, but she wants something that you would bop, vibe, and come back for more. Sales tactics. She's a business.
Yeah, and that's like with what G said too, man. It's like they designed it that way. Like you see people, it's several artists that put out positive songs, but do they promote it the way they would promote a hood song, the way they would promote a shake your ass type of song? You know what I'm saying? It's designed that way. And I did.
WAP got more play than My Vote Don't Count.
Right.
And I think we probably the ones that played it most.
But the community context, how we hold hip hop in comparison to how others hold hip hop, to them, not to be rude, but it's almost just Halloween when you're talking about hip hop and you're talking about chains and you're talking about Gucci belts. It's just a dress up game. For you, it's a way of life.
No, but see, that message was designed. That's what I'm saying. By us knowing that today, that this message was designed, they sat in a room and they specifically said, we are going to start making this music this particular way to exactly do what it is they have today, where the prisons went private and it became more of a money bag for the private
Well,
investment.
prison's been a money bag since Black people got free.
No, but
You
hip
didn't have no private prisons. You didn't have none of that until Black people had free, and they didn't know what to do with us. So they said everything that you do, we're going to criminalize it and put you in jail and get free labor.
and it was first, well, right, but first it was run by the government until the 90s, and then it became privatized. So the government has nothing to do with the prison system anymore. And for the sake of this particular argument, the hip hop culture was targeted as a way for they, as you say, white folks, wanted to purposely, the more heads you put in a privatized system, the more money the person who owns it gets.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
so in this meeting, they said, if we target hip hop to tell kids and young individuals to go kill, to go rob, to go steal, to sell drugs, they're gonna get arrested. They're gonna fall into this system. And that's exactly what and anyone who objected to it was literally threatened to be taken off the face of the earth by very powerful people. Whether or not you believe all of the story, what I can tell you is if you look at the evolution of hip hop and you look at the evolution of the prison system, from a certain time in a year to today, you can see that the numbers coincide with the fact that they teach them to do this at a young age. They start to do it as they get old enough, right? If you listen to the music early enough, your bigger brothers and sisters, aunties and uncles, you start to hear this at 8, 9 years old. By the time you're 16, 17, you don't care. You have no, as they say, you give no fucks. And that's where the message to me can come from. If I could take 4 minutes and reach 4 million people and I don't get $1 for it, I'd be a happy person right now.
I wonder if the evolution of hip hop was the de-evolution of the Black man.
It's just the fact that we are becoming smarter to the so-called system, but we are not doing anything to really
change it, but rather integrate into it.
Yes, we are just settling to say, oh, okay, yeah, I know they're not gonna buy it. I know I won't make $4 million, but okay, fuck it. I'm just gonna still make this video. No, risk that. Go. It used to be funny that Will Smith rapped the way he did. At one particular time, he was clowned. He was considered, soft and weak and all. Yeah, but today, look at how people hold him up now. So that's what I mean. Now that we're more educated and we understand it, we should be turning around. And then to find out that you specifically, when I mean you, I'm talking about like these hip hop guys. I'll even name a few: 2 Chainz, DaBaby, just those 2 individuals right there. I know both graduated from Harvard. You have a Harvard degree, and you rather come and tell my shorty that he needs to be rocking a chain he'll never get, that he needs to be rocking shoes he'll never buy, that he needs to be driving a car he'll never drive. No, tell him to rock that Honda, just like we like Lupe Fiasco, for instance. He's the opposite of these people. Lupe Fiasco will tell you all about saving your money, driving a Honda instead of a Ferrari, living in a house that you need rather than a house you do not need. That, so he doesn't get to play, like Stamp just said. Those songs don't go as far.
What's the last song and this is not no shade, no tea. What's the last song like 2 Chainz came out with?
Yeah, good question. I'm not a big fan. I could look it up. I'd have to Google.
I don't think he has. I think he has, honestly, because he recently got his degree. It wasn't something that he entered into the hip hop music, in the industry with, right?
Oh, I don't. Yeah. Now, when he got his degree and where he was at the stage of his hip hop career, that I don't know.
because I've always admired him.
Sure, no, 2 Chainz.
And I saw him. No. I'm not saying I'm coming for you because I like 2 Chainz. I don't believe in falling for nobody that don't pay my bills. But
I got you.
I've kind of like watched him like from the corner, like I've somewhat admired him in regards to how his marriage is, how good he is to his wife. And then also I've noticed that as he started making his money, I've been kind of paying attention. He made more investments and he's kind of pulled away from the music industry. He's made his staple. He left alone. And I think his wife, I want to say his wife runs the charities. So I kind of admire him in that regard. But I'm pretty sure he got his Harvard degree after he got some revenue.
And that's all good. I mean, really it is. The thing that I do again want to just reiterate is all I'm saying is when you, no matter when you got that education, my thing would be to turn around and
give back.
Not only give back, but just turn around and say, okay, hold on a second. I've been doing it all this time this way because this is what I thought to believe. But now that I've obviously know more than that and have risen past that educationally, I should go back and give it to these kids because I was that cat who was making hip hop thinking that I had to say it this way or that way. And even in a lesser sense, two Chainz is a huge star, but you know, we've written songs. I've performed on different continents. I first started using hip hop to say things like I had jewelry that I didn't have, cars that I did. And then I started to say, wait a minute, a couple years into it, I was going, this doesn't make sense, fellas. Like, why are we saying this stuff? And then, no, hold on, Joe. Let's tell them what it's really about. We don't get up and go do that.
And you know what that was in you, Gino?
Yeah.
That was the artist in you, because any artist is supposed to reflect the world around them. They are supposed to be a reflection. They're supposed to be like a historical reference.
Right.
With no cut, no filter. Who is it? Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
That is what art is supposed to be. When you see comedy, when you see paintings, when you hear music, it's supposed to accurately reflect what's going on in a community or in your world. Like if you were to walk outside with none of the money, with none of the cars, with none of the success, what do you see? And you're supposed to paint it, whatever your brush is, if it's comedy, if it's hip hop. And I think maybe hip hop has gotten away from that. You know, you're supposed to paint your picture with your brush. What's your brush? And are you painting your picture? Are you painting that distorted reflection? I'm back to the mirror, y'all. Yeah. That distorted reflection. Are you trying to call it something else? Because historically, if you look back at it and say that hip hop is a reflection of what the Black community was going through, you're going to say that the Black community wasn't going through very much because only this many people were talking about Black Lives Matter, and only this many people were talking about, poverty, hunger, HIV inside of their music. So
one of the first lessons, I wanted to meet a politician when I first started rapping, and I remember the older guys were trying to tell me like, no, you don't want to go meet with him, and I'm thinking, yeah, I do. I want to tell him about the neighborhood, and I want to tell him what he should be fixing, because you know what I'm saying, like this park might be pretty, but go 2 blocks away from this park and I'm gonna show you something that ain't pretty. So don't concentrate on just because, okay, hooray, you made this park for us, but there's some other stuff to still handle, and you need to come over here and look this way and don't just look that way. And then they're like, no, but hip hop, it doesn't go with politics like that. We're not supposed to be mingling with the politicians. Yeah, we are, man.
That's what they tell you.
Definitely are.
The power of a community sometimes.
There you go.
I mean, I honestly don't look at a lot of the music today as hip hop because I can't tell you, it doesn't have that core. You know what I mean? The core of hip hop. You know, like you said, it came from the streets. It came from graffiti artists and break dancers and things like that. This is just music that they think it's
It's an
good.
imitation of hip hop.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider it hip hop at all. Like
No, it is. It's
some of the cats are. I mean, I know hip hop is like it was steady evolving because we don't sit up there, a 1 to the 2, the 2 to the 3. We don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? But
haven't done
it's
that.
just I don't know, man. It's oh dang, look at you, G. I thought you was trying to clown me.
No,
Hey,
I'm
it's
saying
just,
that hasn't been done in a
look,
long time. The evolution is there.
We
it's,
can't see his facial expressions.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's really hard to know if you coming for us, Gino, or you showing love right now.
I'm all about showing
Look,
love. I ain't coming at
look,
nobody. I want
look,
I want them to just hear me, hopefully somehow through this platform to say, do it just a little different, man. I appreciate these guys to even go and get the education, whether it was, once you were granted the money from hip hop, it afforded you the education, but simply reach one, reach one, teach one. Do something that's gonna show us on a broader scale. We see it. We know Yellow Pain. We know Queen Latifah's. We know the Commons. Those are the guys, the Kanye's. There's a lot of them out there that do promote. However, they don't have the backing of the majority. The majority still rather hear about who about to kill who, about who drove this car, and it's that false reality. That's what I think you touched on, Sabrina, was it's the fact that since I don't have it, let me escape maybe into this world for a few minutes. But see, that's another misconception, because you, after 4 more minutes, you still got to go back to paying that mortgage or paying that bill. So why you chasing something that you never gonna get? Chase something real. Go for something you
let me say this. Let me say this, G. Thousand pardons for cutting you off. In some cases, you could look at it this way. In some cases, these songs are taking them away from their reality and giving people something to dream for. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's not
The Black
always
reality is a war
that
zone,
they put.
so it makes sense.
Yeah,
Sorry.
dream
Definitely
realistic.
is. So when some people go off into these, yeah, I mean, and you're not going, but how is it that we could say that this fancy car or these houses is not a realistic dream, though? You know what I'm saying? This can be obtained in some way, but they have to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I mean, I don't know. I just think, like, I hear what you're saying on that, but I got to come from the other side of the fence on it too, because some of these songs, like, I know when I hear music or when I'm playing some songs, it takes me away from certain things that I'm dealing with throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? And just because these cats is talking this stuff, I mean, not everybody look at it as this is law. You know what I'm saying? But it can be somebody like, oh, look, I want this.
Gotta
You know,
change the mindset. Why do we have to believe that having a good car is achievable? Why don't we just say, get you something that's reliable, get you something that's gonna protect
I don't even know if it's the selling of the idea of the chains, the idea of the cars. I don't even think it's that. I think it's because verse 1 is, I'm just saying, verse 1 is, this is where I'm at right now. I got chains, I got gold in my mouth, I got a nice car, I got a nice gal, she's the epitome of what I think is beautiful. And then verse 2 is a memory of me running up the block, pop, 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 or me up and down. I'm not coming for nobody to hit the pole. I'm not doing that. But I had to go that route, right? And that's the journey to get to this here and now. You got your past, your present, and your future. And if you're saying that the present is me fighting, me pushing down, and me downing, because a lot of times, and it's in our language, it's very much in our everyday lingo of high siding, or that's probably not the word no more, but high siding, or demeaning or belittling one another in order to keep what we have or to create a status for ourselves. And that status being, I don't have a problem with the money, I don't have a problem with the cars, I don't have a problem with the chains. My problem is, by what means are you telling my people to get this.
Exactly. How
Yeah.
come?
I think that's my. I don't have a problem with nobody. I don't have a problem with. I really don't have a problem with nobody stripping. I don't have a problem with none of that. But is that the only? Is I'm not gonna say that's the only, because I don't want any. I would never want anybody to think that that's wrong, right? But if you are going to scream that, right? Are you also screaming the abuse of women in this particular
There you
this
go.
particular world? Are you also talking about how maybe not so lighter women are being treated differently, how they may not be getting their cut, and I'm not saying that racism plays a big part in the strip club, but what I am saying is that some people have to do, you already know that it's true, you got to do 5 times more to get the bare minimum of what somebody else is getting.
Yeah. And that's
So that might be a little bit more of my issue. That's why I say that's where I come from when I'm saying, as an artist, are you painting an accurate picture with your brush?
Yeah, and as an artist, how come the song WAP, it stands for wet ass we know what, but how come that couldn't be we all people or we all paid? Make a different song to incite a change in the youth, because when I look down at what's coming after me, I'm afraid of what they gonna do. I think our parents might have said that same thing too, but I'm like seriously afraid of these young people when I go to the store and I shop and I just seriously try to connect to them, and they are like so disconnected. It's ridiculous. But the one thing I know they are connected to is music, and that music can reiterate to them kids when you go back to work. You know what I'm saying? Show a little respect. You can tell me your story of how you got to where you at, but also remember to tell them, hey, how you get here. Okay, we all not perfect, but don't go out there and act like you don't have to give a crap. Don't go out there and act like that person is bothering you. When you at a job, that person is called a customer. Without that customer, you don't get paid. So if you want to act all ignorant to them, you're not going to get paid. But see, that's not what they hearing. They hearing F this, F that, get that bag, hit them upside the head, shoot them down. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think
But
all
at the
music
same
does that.
time,
I think some of the music tells you. I honestly think that some of the music tells you to stand up for yourself.
Majority.
Like sometimes when I hear WAP, let me tell you what I hear as a woman who has lived life. I'm gonna just tell you, and it's not like, oh, let me defend WAP. My eyes look little, like I'm SpongeBob and I'm dried out. um, what I hear is, I heard that I don't cook, I don't clean, but I guarantee you I got this ring. Let me tell you something. What that said was, you can focus on your craft and you can focus on you and you can find somebody for you, right? Is the chorus my choice of words? No. Will I jam it in my private home?
Yeah.
Yes. Should your daughter, who is underage and probably don't have no job, be listening to it? Probably not, but they are going to hear it. And then my question comes to you, what, not you guys in general, but my question comes to the community. What is your community context? What community context have you created so that they can go out here and decipher this information for themselves?
And you're an educated woman, correct?
I'm an educated woman now.
Right. So if you
I've
were
always been educated.
right, but if you were uneducated, would you still take that same message that way?
Would I take it that way? I would.
Same
If I'm
lyric.
educated, would I still be single?
Now, wouldn't I would believe that an uneducated person would
I
look
probably still would be single, because
the
statistically, apparently, my sisters don't get married till after 30 without education. So
right.
I have to say, yeah, I probably would. Because in the Black community, you find a lot of matriarchs. You do. You find a lot of matriarchs where women are carrying the household, right? You find that I'm not gonna say it's not purposely, but what I'm gonna say is, I'm not gonna say is this the right way or it's the wrong way, but it is a way in the Black community that you find a lot of matriarchs. So will a lot of these women who are 29, who may be uneducated, carry the same message? Yeah. Okay, I don't cook, I don't clean, but I've been working 2 call center jobs and Wendy's overnight, if that's what you want to say. You know what I'm saying? I think that the message,
Yeah, and
Will
remember,
everyone interpret it that way? No, but I think that we're looking for an interpretation from. When I think about it, I'm thinking about the subconscious mind from the time that you're a child and being unable to decipher it.
right, and don't forget, we talking young, uneducated, right, or barely educated. They're still going through the education system, and then on top of that, you got to also remember you just
My question always gonna be when we try
yeah.
to come to hip hop artists, and maybe I'm just riding the line with this one, but my question is, where is y'all mamas? Where is y'all daddies?
Well, you just
I
said
mean, you
though,
just
but
told them.
didn't you just say that they had to strip to get there? So these kids just heard the story of I was stripping, I was doing this dirt. She even put it out there that she was robbing cats when
But
she.
you forgot about Meg. Meg is a whole entire educated woman and
Well,
puts
yeah,
it in very many of her songs. My grandmama told me I had to go get my education.
no, I'm not singling her out. I'm talking about the lyrics that you said about the I don't cook, I don't clean, but I
Yeah,
still right.
got this ring. Yeah.
So what I'm saying though is that the way you broke down those lyrics, if you
You don't think that someone who does not have the education that I have
no,
would be able to?
no, someone who not only just, I don't mean it in an educational way, just that way. I also mean it as you come up and you're looking at this because right now we're not getting that connection. We feel that I hear it a lot that the younger crowd does not know how to connect to the older crowd the way we kind of did. We were able to talk to our older elders and we understood how. And if we got out of line, we got checked, right? Nowadays, you do that and it's a fight. But what I mean is if this particular individual mind that broke down those same lyrics, but all they saw was what you said earlier was they saw the story. So they see the story of the
They're
particular
making a
person.
subconscious connection,
Yes.
creating them as a victim
Right.
to what the world actually is going to produce them as, because it may not be as likely, or it's very unlikely that your story is going to turn out the exact same.
If I was a young woman who didn't have a lot of connection to my parents or someone giving me guidance, and I was following an artist like Cardi B, for instance, just saying her particular, no, we can go with anybody, but I'm just going to use it because we're talking about the song. Now, I'm this young woman looking at, I have nobody's guiding me. My parents are off doing whatever they got to do to support the household and this and that, right? So I'm looking at Cardi. I understand that she's a stripper in her past. I understand that she robbed cats in her past. I understand that she shook her ass and that's how she got her money to go ahead and pay for the rap song that she put out and it became big, Bodak Yellow. So, okay, now I don't have any other guidance and I'm looking at this girl. And then she comes on TV and tells me, I ain't cook, I ain't clean, but I still got this ring. All I'm thinking is, well, shit, I got to shake the hell out this ass. Right? That's how I'm seeing it.
That's a very oversimplified. Like, really, Gino, I'm just saying, I think that's very oversimplified. I think we just skipped over the fact that
what?
I think that's really oversimplified. I think that there is still that middle part where if we saying, because I follow Cardi and I see Cardi this and I see Cardi that, right?
Right.
There are several interviews where she said, if I didn't make it, I would have been a teacher.
But now you putting in a different perspective. A young woman's not watching that.
If I'm following everything that Cardi do on my YouTube, all you're gonna see is Cardi videos. That's what kids do. They go crazy, and the internet is feeding it all to them. They go really crazy, and then you have to. I don't want to just use her as a.
No.
I don't really want to use her as a staple because I feel like there were so many different aspects to her, because she even spoke on her domestic violence situation. She wrote music on that, and maybe during the quarantine, WAP was what it was for her and her husband. You know what I'm saying?
No, exactly.
And unfortunately, there are going to be some 15 and 16, and now I probably sound like somebody that's advocating for this, but I'm not trying to. I think it's more about the community context. I think that you can never break a song down by just a song. You have to listen to the full album, which is a very a very rare thing that albums even come out to be a full story anymore. Yeah. I think that it's so many things wrong with it. My problem definitely does lie still with the fact that people keep telling they keep telling these stories of violence and things. But then again, shoot, violence is what you're seeing in the Black community. And it's overwhelming.
Exactly.
So maybe they are painting their brushes. Y'all know, I feel like I'm having a counseling session.
Yeah, he was just trying to.
Who you
I feel like I'm talking to a therapist. Like, but wait, isn't it possible that maybe that because
there's a lot of
Black people are going through a lot of PTSD, and some of it has to do with slavery, the residue, not the residue, I call it residue. You call it residue. The residue left over from slavery, from people beating their children, from people having to deal with the trauma of not being able to speak in the household, from people going through domestic violence, not knowing what to say or what to do. So maybe they may end up in a strip club because, you know, working a regular 9 to 5 at the grocery store is not going to cut it to get you up out that house. But you can't go back home because you started stripping a little bit because your mama didn't like you. But it's all of that is trauma, but we all consider it the norm. How many times have we had conversations about such and such who became a stripper or such and such who gunned such and such down?
You know what's trauma to me?
But that's normalized in our community.
What's trauma to me is if you decide to be a stripper, but you ain't got no stripper body. That is just trauma to me.
That's what I mean right there. That's what I mean right there. Us putting everything.
Just thought our life moved up.
I know, but that's my thing right there. Only our community could think to make a joke out of it.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, it's so common. The trauma is so common that we literally, she slapped the taste out of her mouth. Yeah, her baby ran up in there. She got a black eye. Like, we can laugh about it. We literally laugh about pain that's killing us.
And that's what we are able to do that, but still know the pain. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's why a lot of comedians.
It's a distorted mirror because we don't even call it pain. We call it just life. We're so used to surviving, we don't even know how to live.
And a lot of comedians.
You let your child tell you what they want to eat. That's almost taboo.
What?
You letting your child tell you what you want to eat?
Man, oh boy.
Gino, am I lying? You better eat what's on that table.
Yeah.
Oh no, you ain't lying.
Yeah, you ain't lying. I mean, you
definitely not.
But not talking to your children about what they like. Like, that's what I mean when I say community context. You have this community that deters open communication on a regular, even in some of the best homes.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's ever a perfect thing, and that's it. I was just simply
not perfect, but it could be functional.
About an hour ago, I was just trying to say that.
I can't even see your face, but we knew that one right there was a low blow.
No.
I'm joking.
No, it was a great. I loved it.
About an hour ago,
I'm glad that you were able to even.
Sabrina, I am trying to get home. It is daylight saving time.
Sorry.
Oh my God, that's funny.
But I do. It was just because you mentioned that song 12 something, and it was 12. I just went off.
It was talking about 21 questions. All I said was 12 Rap City was my song, and you got on Kanye, and now we down a Kanye hole now.
That's what I'm saying. We went down.
I didn't agree with myself, disagree with me, agree with Stamp, came for Stamp, disagree with Stamp.
It was great. No, it was lovely. I appreciate it. I like.
We need to start calling these therapy sessions.
For the real, definitely should.
These are therapy sessions.
Yes, they are. They are. Good conversation.
You said about an hour ago. I was talking about
an hour ago. Oh shoot. Well, we were supposed to play the featured artist, but that's not gonna happen. You guys got to listen to us talk about hip hop as opposed to playing you there.
We gotta start just talking about finances when I get on here, because
we can't do that. We can't do that.
That was because blame that on Gino. Sorry, y'all. I took Miss Black Texas USA 2020 off her normal talk. So, but it was good though. It was
tell you how to open up a good bank account.
I know. We went from banks to I ain't gonna say it, but yeah, we went from there to there. That's
from the banks to the WAP.
Yeah, exactly. We went from from banks to giving it all away at the club. But no, we really just don't need to make it rain, is what I'm saying.
Okay. How about making it drizzle?
Yeah.
No dream is impossible. Just know that there is a way that may be better for you than other ways.
Give options. Exactly. You can do this way, but in case you maybe don't want to, have to do it, and I didn't know that, I can give you 3, because I'm sure Cardi can tell her daughter today, well, obviously, but she's set for life. But I'm just saying, I'm sure she can tell her daughter, baby girl, yeah, mom had to do that. But now that I know things, you don't have to. And if I prevent you from doing it, that still to me makes a great person. Just because I remember grown ups telling me when I was younger, oh, you don't tell them that. Let them go mess up by themselves. Well, why? Sometimes, yes, I can see that lesson being learned, but why 100% of the time? So, give me some options, man. When I'm gonna walk down this path and get hit up a million times, tell me about it. So maybe I'll get hit up 500,000 instead of the whole million.
What if it's a subconscious thing in the Black community to break each other down? And we really, I'm not even gonna say we really don't know, but we know we allow our children, we allow our brothers and our sisters to learn lessons the hard way, and we harbor sometimes information that could, in fact, free our people. Some people don't even. Was that Harriet Tubman? That was Harriet Tubman. I could free more of my people if they only knew that they were in bondage.
See?
And we play we play the card where I have information that could help you, but I want you to have just as little hope as I do. So I will let you go through it all, burn out every possible way, and then say, well,
told you so.
I guess you figured it out.
Yeah, exactly.
And look at each other's eyes with no hope in each eyes. And anytime we do see people with hope, instead of steering them in the right direction, we let them go ahead and go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I think Stamp posted, it was a great post a while back. He put up, when you put up a post that you got a new job, oh, great, you get 100 comments. Good job. Congratulations. Go for it. Yeah, boy, you doing your thing. Then you put up a post, hey, I just started my own business. And maybe 3 motherfuckers will hit you up. Like,
Right.
Yeah, you're right. We got a problem with.
Oh, remember Stamp? Do you know why that is? Because he didn't post it with a brand new car or a whole lot of buildings. Because we have a distorted vision of what it means to be a business owner or anything in this world that is great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna leave the mirror alone. I'm gonna let it.
That's why
I'm gonna let it shatter.
Artists should use their platform to teach us that and teach everyone that, as opposed to just holding that information to themselves. I think that's a great one. They may have gone to school and learned it, but I think you're right, Sabrina. They hold it because the lessons in the past have always told young, people of color, nope, you don't tell them. Let them go fuck up himself. Hey, watch. He finna hit the wall.
I think you should tell them, and then if they mess up, that's on, that's the life, right?
Exactly. Life is gonna happen. I can't tell my son everything, but don't think I haven't already told him certain things to avoid because I already got hit with it. But there's things that he's gonna get hit with that I didn't even go through. So I know he's gonna get his, but there's no reason for me to sit back and go, yeah, see, I could have told you could have avoided that, but I'd rather watch your ass do it. That doesn't make no sense to me.
I mean, that's what you do with your son, your kid. You know what I'm saying?
Anybody though.
Then a lot of times people look at it, they get the information and they try to give it to people, but they get, like somebody, they don't want to hear it, or they down them, or something bad happens to them, and they be like, look, I was just trying to help them out, so now I ain't gonna do it no more. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't gonna reach them all, but I guarantee you what, that person, if they see the positive enough, they'll change their mind eventually. Everyone takes time. Everyone's not gonna conform, but when you see it start to become the normal, start to become the majority, then things will.
But I wonder, and I just put that on Black people's head, but I think that may be a problem across, yes, the race, when we're talking about Blacks, but also a certain income level just in general.
Hey, you know what? I think that that's a better that right there. The
Because I see
income
white
level.
I see white people do it. I
Do
see some
that.
Latinos do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like you said,
we're
with
all
the income level, because you have certain people at certain lines, you know what I'm saying, where you see how they live, you see how they grow, you see how they talk to their kids and treat their kids or treat each other. Then as you go up that ladder, it's a different treatment. Like, you know what I mean? I haven't seen the high how they treat people on a higher level. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get there though. But it's the income thing too. I would definitely say that because both G and myself grew up in the same neighborhood and it was mixed. You know what I mean? We had black, white, Indian, Asian, and we all had the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
same problems, just different skin
Yeah,
tone. Yep.
yeah. So that's a perfect way to look at it, though, income based. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
And we might just be beating ourselves up as black people, not realizing, hell, everybody got the problem.
Hmm.
And it's not all of the problems, but some of the problems. Um,
Yeah.
and it's
I mean, I think too, like with where we came up. I mean, again, I can't just say black. I know we have issues, but with coming up where we came up at, if you were a certain way or talked a certain way or dressed a certain way, you know what I mean? That's when you got harassed. Like we have friends who are white, but they talk the way that we grew up. You know what I'm saying? So they get it because people think they trying to be something they not. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, come on with all that bullshit. You know, and
let me
we
Uh oh.
back
Here,
something up real quick.
here
go
comes
ahead,
Okay.
another hour.
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Let's back something up right there. Okay.
Okay.
Being able to identify that you have adopted a culture, because that's what it is. It's an adoption, right? Because the thing about being black is that you can't hide that you're black when you walk into a room,
Right. I understand. You definitely
right? So there are things that someone and at some point they come to the realization. Anyone who is not black comes to the realization, and some people will admit it and some people won't, right? But they come to a realization that when I walk into a room, I get treated differently, right? And so sometimes I see things and I'm like, okay, but you have, and it's not to say, it's not to say that it's the best opportunity, but privilege is real. But you have an opportunity, and if you really feel like you're a part of my world and a part of my life, right? And like, let's just say my best friend was white. My best friend is not white, but let's just say my best friend is white. And my best friend has their privilege that can allow them to have the same credit score as me, same zip code as me, walk into a bank and be able to qualify for a business loan. Whereas when I walk into the bank, there's credit redlining that plays a role. Will you use that opportunity? Or will you say that I only like this part of that culture? You get what I'm saying? Like, I only like the drinking, the smoking, the supposed things that represent that culture. I only want to talk this way. If I can, do you
right.
know on the phone,
It would
people be ready
definitely
to promise me the world, but when they see me in person and find out that Sabrina looks like this,
right. I
we
mean,
were waiting on Sabrina. Oh, that's me. The national puffball in the back, that's me. You know, but I think that adoption of a culture, and it's not pretending, but it's an adoption. And at any time, if slavery was to come back tomorrow, you can throw it out.
yeah, but to see what I was saying was it's not them adopting the culture. It's them. I mean, they can't, they wouldn't be like they can't play black or Hispanic or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that I was saying was all of us grew up the same way as when we were shorties. We didn't see all that stuff. We didn't see that. Oh, I'm this. We just hung out with each other, and the way we grew up was the way we grew up. Of course, as you get older, people will see that they have this advantage versus a black person or a
Mhm.
Hispanic or something like that. But the way that we grew up and where we grew up, these cats is gonna be the same way all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like we talk the same way, we move the same way, and it was just a melting pot of everything in our community. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy. That's what I was getting at when I said that these.
I cut you off. You know the sociology me cut you
Yeah,
off.
you was
No,
like,
it's
hold
not
on, this
10
is not the
when you
same.
adopt the culture.
Yeah, but no.
Because I'll be ready for 10.
Yeah, no, just bring it down, push pause a little bit. I wasn't even on all that.
I can't stop the world, ain't gonna stop for me. It's still turning. I gotta move. I gotta keep it pushing. No, I'm
Oh
playing.
my God.
But I understand 100% what you're saying about as
Just
far as children go. I understand, and even the growing up part, the ability to want to be. I'm gonna
I
shut up.
just to speak for myself, I grew up like Stam said, we grew up in the same neighborhood. My mother is half white, half Puerto Rican. My father is full-blooded Puerto Rican. I have been called the N-word more times than anything in my life. I have never been privileged when I walk into any damn room. I have been beat up by the KKK. So as far as I'm concerned, they didn't adopt me. And I'm not saying that I adopted a culture at all. What I'm saying is that's where the hell I was born. I didn't have a choice. I slept in a sock drawer when I was little. I didn't have a crib. I drank the school milk. My mother was 15 when she had me. She was bringing home the lunch milk from school. That's all I knew. I didn't even experience racism until I left the neighborhood, because in the neighborhood, like Stamp said, it was different colored people, but we all taught the same. We all knew the same problems. We all had to share the extension cord if the light bill wasn't paid, and
Shut.
we all had to
Oh,
borrow the.
facts.
No, seriously, but this
No,
is
I'm like facts. I remember something similar to that.
it hurt a lot when I left the neighborhood, because I started to hear these words, and I knew the word, I knew the N word, the way we embraced each other with it. But when I left the neighborhood, it was like, what? I never wanted to leave. I wanted to go back and just like, I was like, Mom, I don't want to go back to that school. My mother sent me to a school that was on a totally different side of the city. And boy, did I see all of that come out when you talk about people downing you because they believe you're something you're not, calling you names because they believe you're acting like something, and you're simply just being who you were born to be. That shit is bogus. And that's where, I've done my whole life trying to tell people it doesn't matter the way you are, it's where you're from. It's not, how do I say it? I always say, like, it's not who you are, it's where you're from. That's who tells me who you are. You like you said, Sabrina, you can walk into a room and hide it when you're a different skin color. Yes, for a bit, because as soon as you open your mouth, then association comes into play, and they still go ahead and segregate you. But it is I could see your point of adopting a culture, but I could also hear the argument of, I was born there, I was raised that way, my friends' families were all African American, and I got all of that lesson. I know about the sending the kids away from the living room when grown folks is talking, get out the room. I know all about certain things like
So would
certain.
you consider that? But my question is like,
Yeah.
those cultural norms, would you consider those cultural norms a Puerto Rican cultural norm or a Black cultural norm?
No, they are Black cultural norms. And I'll tell you, I don't know any Puerto Rican ones. You know why? Because I wasn't born where Puerto Ricans were the majority. I wasn't born where Puerto Rican culture was influenced to me. I was told, go outside and play. And guess who my friends were? They were people like Stamp, people like Abdul, and I could just remember all these guys, Eric and everybody, all these guys, they were all African Americans. I would be told, come on upstairs and get you something to eat. Okay, cool. Go in the house. I hear the African American culture.
So do you see? Do you think that there's a difference between?
No, there's no difference. What it
No,
is,
no, no, no. Like my question is like,
I don't like the difference of people telling me that I'm not Hispanic enough. What the fuck does that mean? I wasn't raised that way. Those people who tell me that, they were raised in a Hispanic environment. Their family talked to them in Spanish. They gave them the Hispanic values. That wasn't me. Now, yes, I am technically Puerto Rican, right? Because if you want to get into technical stuff, well, yeah, but I wasn't raised that way. I was told, get your ass out
But
the.
isn't Puerto Rican a culture?
Yes, Puerto Rican is a culture. You are right. And I'm learning it now that I'm 40 years old. I'm starting to actually learn the culture because I chose to. But if I was to go off of where I was born and what I was taught as a young man into adulthood, it wasn't the Puerto Rican culture. No. And you could even ask my wife. I conduct myself, she could just see it. You know, she understands, and she understands why I am and who I am the way I am. And I don't knock those things just because, well, yeah, I'm Puerto Rican, so I don't need to live by that way. No, I respect those big mamas that beat the shit out of me when I cursed and I wasn't supposed to be cursing, and that showed me the respect. You know, don't talk about certain things in front of minds that don't understand it, because that's why you get sent away when grown folks is talking, because you're not going to understand it. Then you run off talking like you think you grown, and then that's how you end up getting your ass whooped. So you see, it all makes sense to just understand that a person comes from there. Now, if you start to get down to the bottom of things and you figure out that I was raised in the suburbs and I had a white dad and a white mom and drove a Mercedes, then by all means tell me that I've adopted something. But if I was born there, only shown this, and then let out into the world, so to speak, because our worlds were our neighborhoods. Those 4 blocks meant everything to us. And once you left, then you were told, hey, you not this, you this. It was confusing as fuck for a while, for me anyway, because I didn't get it. It was like, I'm not different, guys. I'm just who I am. This is where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? This is who's
But
influenced.
even Puerto Rico, so when we use the term Black in America, I think it's more about being having descendants that are from Africa, and I think that Black people in America have created their own unique culture that may not be recognized. So,
Let me explain one thing to you too. In order to make a Puerto Rican, I need to make this clear because this is something I just learned as well. It takes
Make them Puerto
it
Rican.
take oh, no, seriously. In order to the way the way the Puerto Rican culture was made is 33% African American, 33% Spaniard, and 33% European. Those are the three things that are in our blood, that are in our culture. So in order for us to have become Puerto Rican, we had to have those three things mixed together. So we are a third African American, we are a third European, and we are a third Spaniard. That's how you get to this culture. So by saying that, now I have a new understanding of even how I became who I am through my technical culture, but that's just the technicalities of who made me, as opposed to telling me where do you come from. And I'm going to tell you, the north side of Chicago, right up under all the guys that I grew up with. That's where I come from. But in my blood are these ancestors that did make me, and who make Puerto Rican, but
I thought Spain was in Europe.
Spain. Well, when I say European, it's the white man, the white settler, the
But the Spaniards were white people
yes and
in
no.
Europe.
They're Portuguese. Spaniards are a mixture of Portugal, and because Spain and Portugal are right next to each other, and I know Portuguese and Spaniards would never tell you they're the same, but I know that they share.
But
See,
they're European.
well, they're in Europe. Well, no, they're located in Europe, so it makes them European. But no, they're not European. I mean, a European do
That's
when
like saying a Texan's not an American.
well, no, right? I mean, like, isn't it saying European because you're in Europe, or
So Puerto Rico was one of the places where they did slave stops.
yes?
So in reality, for me, like European is it. I know we did it in one of the earlier shows where I talked about the separation that Blacks tried to make among themselves,
Yeah.
and I see that a lot in like the Puerto Rican culture, and I see it a lot in some Nigerian, because they don't want to be called Black, they want to be called Nigerian, right? But I don't know. I think because Black Americans, we never really had like anything else to call ourselves besides either Black, Texan. I mean, not Texan. Everybody ain't a Texan, but whatever your state is, and then American, right? You just kind of like, Black is a culture, right? So people were calling you Black because of your ancestral roots of being African, or being African. But your parents are descendants of the country of Puerto Rico, and that country. And when I hear European and Spaniard, like the Spaniards were just like Spain. I can't go on this history. I can't go on this history lesson. The Spanish came from Spain. That's how Mexico got the Spanish language, right? That's how Puerto Rico got the Spanish language, or the mixture of language, because all these people who kept coming to these countries, they were not the best of the best people. Like, they were not the best people in the world. Like, they was not nice. They was not smart. Some of them, they was what we would consider modern day drug dealers and killers. That's what they were. They were sent on these crazy trips and stuff.
Right.
And some of them were conquerors and considered great, but shoot, you got people that's considered great all the time that have really bad tendencies. But nonetheless, I think the way of the American Blacks think about being Black, and the ignorant way that some people also think about being Black, is that when you see that skin color, that should be the identifier, and you're Black no matter your actual cultural heritage, right? So I guess I don't know exactly where I'm going with that, but I always see and I always hear, like, I'm not Black, I'm Puerto Rican, or I'm not Black, I'm Trinidad. Yeah, but you're Black though, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, those who don't understand are the ones that I think say it.
But those are two cultures.
I'm a third. Yeah.
But if you think of Black in the essence of race, right? Not the Black American culture or the Puerto Rican culture. I'm saying it Black as in a physical identifier.
Okay.
Right? And then I always talk, remember that one show we had, and I was like, oh, we adopt our slave holders culture, and we literally divide ourselves amongst that, right?
Yeah.
Until there is a realization that our stories are more alike than they are unalike, we will continue to have problems. And that's why I don't get angry or anything. I'm confused. It leaves this shower of confusion over me. Like, but you are Black. I'm Trinidad, but you Black. You're Jamaican, but you Black. I want you to understand that you've picked up a culture, and it's nothing wrong with the culture, right? Black Americans' culture, unfortunately, is called Black, which is causing kind of a issue there. Yeah. But nonetheless, you have Black Puerto Ricans, in my opinion, just my opinion, you have Black Puerto Ricans, you have Black people who are from Jamaica, you have Black people who are British, you have Black people who are Mexican, you have Black people who are Portuguese.
Yeah, that's the issue. Real talk right there. Black is a color, and we're not even, or I'm to say none of us.
But if you didn't have any education,
technically you're not Black. You are brown. You know what I mean? That
some of us are brown, some of us are Black, and some of us are like dirty brown. Like,
some of us could just be
like dirty brown.
A couple of people
that's a dark black. That's a darker shade.
Like midnight Black.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that when you use the word Black, you're usually speaking of someone who has ancestral roots from the continent of Africa.
And I think that's just the wrong way of describing ourselves. I've always felt very uneasy when someone asks me that question, because it's not that I'm trying to identify. I'm trying to explain to these people who don't know me that you may hear me speak and you may look at my mannerisms and assume that I'm trying to do something or trying to be something when you don't understand that that's just if you were
Who you are.
given right, if you were put in that position for your whole life, it's like if an animal is born and raised in captivity, you can't put it in the wild; it will not survive, right? So if you take someone out of their area, their what I, it's not captivity, but this is our neighborhood. It was like that. It was 4 blocks. You didn't go nowhere. You learned from those people. Now, once you're removed from that, we're not animals. It makes it harder for us because now we go through this whole cycle of life where, like you just said, Sabrina, where people at, what are you? I have a hard time with that because it's like,
I did not ask you what you were.
no. I'm just saying that people do this to you, and they've done it
Oh
to
yeah,
me.
they do that. Yeah, they
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
They ask me, as dark as I am, what are you? Well,
Yeah,
baby,
what are you? And it's like, wait, what? Like how am I really supposed to answer that question? Because then the question becomes then to that same person asking you, what are you? Because we all can have something in us, as we say, culture, but what we are taught and the way we express ourselves can be that of a culture that you may not identify to be mine. However, if that's all I've seen for 40 some odd years of my life, what am I supposed to tell you? And then you tell me I'm wrong. Well, I've been told I'm wrong. I've been told that I don't like respect my own culture. First of all, my mother's job was to teach me that. Then as I got older, sure, I switched over and started to learn my own. But if I'm not taught that, then I don't know that. And it's as simple as that. And I know what I was taught. And I was taught a certain way. And every time I open my mouth, and this just goes back to what you were saying about hiding in a room and shit. I can't hide in a room. As soon as I come in the room, sure, I'm light skinned, but there's a little caramel in this. And in the summertime, it gets even darker because of the sunlight, right? So then I walk into a room and it's like, uh-oh, here comes the ghetto. I mean, I've heard this stuff. I've heard it. Like, who do these people think they are? Number one. Number two, that's beyond the point. They just ignorant. But the thing is that I've been treated no differently. I've been stopped by the cops. I think I've been stopped with you, Stamp, and they didn't treat
Yeah, several times. Yeah.
they they treated me no different. All right. I still got the same hits. I still got the same treatment. And I wasn't even expecting anything there. But I do understand what you meant by that, Sabrina. And I know people who do that, who in 1 minute will be standing there with us and adopting that culture, saying the things and the mannerisms. But then as soon as someone comes in the room that's not a part of the circle we've been talking to, all of a sudden they mannerisms are the total opposite. Their speech is the total. So there I get you. I get that whole adoption thing, and that's part of the problem with hip hop. As we were talking, we've allowed those individuals to copy and say that they know what it feels like when no, you don't.
No, they really don't.
Right, you grew up hand fed and spoon fed. So don't go there. But yes, in another vein, you are right when you don't understand it, because even myself, I kind of get on myself like I should know my culture, because I found out we were right there with the slaves. Puerto Ricans were right there picking cotton. Puerto Ricans were right there in the Civil
Puerto
War.
Puerto Ricans have a very similar historical context to slavery.
And I didn't know that. But see, I didn't know this. I'm learning. You see,
That's because there's been this, the conquerors write history, and that is the problematic portion of it.
for sure.
If I was from Puerto Rico, my ancestors would have probably still been slaves.
Yeah. If they didn't
So
wipe you
when
out.
I hear Puerto Ricans saying, but I'm not black though. But you are. Like, I'd be confused.
That's wrong. No, that is wrong. They don't maybe understand the portions that it took to create those ancestors, like you said. There's also a problem with that too. Those same conquerors, exterminated our ancestors, which were the Taino Indians, those are no longer in existence because of those conquerors. And they also took a lot of our artifacts and melted it down to become the British money that they used back in those days. So we
So
don't
you
have.
consider your heritage to come from the Native Americans that were there? I mean, I'm sorry, the native the natives that were there
Yeah.
and not
Well, that's who.
African?
Well, no. That there's your third. See, there were three people involved in making the Puerto Rican in a sense, because you had the slave owners, right, that were raping and impregnating the African American slaves. Then you had those two mixtures of blood. Some of those would escape when they stopped in Puerto Rico, and they would find shelter and escape and not be in that bondage anymore. So then they gave birth to that third of I guess Europe, half and half, right? It was an African American and a European or Spaniard kid, and then they in turn met and had relations with the Taínos. So this is, I mean, we're talking evolution though, right? So over time, correct, these people escaped off the boats, mingled with the natives, had relations. They also were entrapped as well, just like in Africa, we were taken to come to America as well. So, I mean, it was all done in the same way. But, right, where a Puerto Rican sometimes loses sight, even myself growing up, I just recently learned that I do have a third of African American in me, as opposed to saying,
African.
yes, or African. I'm sorry, not African American. Correct. Thank
I
you.
always knew it.
African.
I
Yeah.
always knew it, Gino. I always knew it.
But no, I mean, but I also,
Travis Shabazz, I knew it.
there's nothing left for us to really find anymore because it's all been taken and exterminated. So it's a very hard history to learn. It's sad, it's dark, it's just but it's great to understand it, because then you start to stop the wonder of, where do I come from? Who am I? What was I a part of? And even though it's a dark time, it's a very dark period, it still shows and reflects who we are, how we were made. It's just kind of cool. But I still see it as, when you ask me specifically, Gino, who are you? Where do you come from? Well, I'm a Chicagoan that grew up on the north side of Chicago, raised by African American families, and I appreciate everything that they did for me, because without them, who knows where I'd be right now. But some of the best advice givers and some of the best friends that I've ever had in life are African American. And I could give a damn if that's wrong or right. But that's where I come from. That's who I am. That's who I hold true. I do respect that I was made by different cultures and that this is who I am and I'm learning my history, but that's simply history. My history, Gino's history, is what I just told you. That's where I come from. Those are the streets I was raised on. These are the mannerisms and the way that I speak. And I think I did a damn good job coming up. So, adopt what you got to adopt if it's gonna help you to achieve something positive, but also remember where you come from, because like you said, Sabrina, I've seen cats adopted, but later we done went back to the house and it's like, dude, you ain't living like you was just saying. You got a trust fund. How does that make you understand poverty when you got $500,000 in the bank? Like, come on, dude. So I get it. There's two sides to every coin. It's just that when we were talking about having to say who you are, that's a hard question in this country, because people really do separate you by maybe the way you speak, the way you dress, right? I mean, we get shit. I walk outside of my house, and I could just imagine how many categories I'm put into by the time I make it to the mailbox and back. So, and then I didn't did nothing to these people, but they right away think I'm selling drugs because I don't come out and talk enough. So because I don't come outside and talk to you enough, I'm a drug dealer. I just can't be a dude that don't want to come out here and talk to you because I know you're nosy as hell and you probably think I'm a drug dealer. So I'm gonna let you keep thinking that shit. Leave me alone. but it's not. But for you to assume that, that's wrong. I don't assume that of them. I don't, as much as I would want to say something, I don't assume that, because I don't know that they are who I may think they are. If I get to know you, that's when I know who you are. So, yeah.
Big facts, G.
I enjoyed your explanation.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if I'm right all the way. I appreciate you checking it too, telling us the differences and how we look at things because like I was just saying, we had a way of seeing it. This was the world I saw. This is the world that I put down into my kids. And sometimes people come along and say, hey, gee, that's not exactly. And then I listen and go, yeah, that's true. We could think of it differently. So, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm hoping we do with this platform. Even after all this conversation, I'm really hoping that people with this platform like this and those that are educated in ways that some kids could only hope to be educated would rather use their platform to tell them young kids, you know what, you could do this, you could do that, you might have to go this way or go that way, but we want to see y'all succeed. And F these companies that are minority or not minority owned but majority owned or whatever you want to call it. And how about, let's create a line of our own clothes. Now that I make my own brand with Middle School Music and the radio, I hate wearing branded clothes. I think I feel weird
Weird, ain't it? Yeah.
because I rather wear mine. This is me. I rather express to you when I walk outside. Who cares Nike? They got enough money. But how about Middle School Music?
There's
FM.
actually a movement out there about wearing like black brands right now. There's
Yeah,
a really big movement. I wonder how long that it will
yeah, right.
last, but
Look,
there's a big movement about not wearing Gucci, Prada, all of them, and wearing black brands.
look, I got my brand on right now.
Exactly.
Did I say F you too?
Yes.
Yep.
Forever
Forever
united.
united together.
Okay.
Yeah. See. Yep.
But
Get them all the time.
no, that is actually
I honestly, you make me want to make a piece specifically from Miss Black Texas that says FU2, and then of course it has what the FU2 means.
Right.
you know what, I have to send it to you because we do like
That's the
both
LLC.
so
Sabrina.
it's a LLC, and then our nonprofit is Forever United Together Community Works.
Oh, that's
You know
beautiful.
what I mean? So when people see FU2, and that's what I told, I had to explain this to a head at my company. I was like, because you have that preconceived notion of what these letters mean, you not even taking into consideration what's going going on around this shirt or what's the actual meaning. You know what I mean?
Disruptive marketing.
You said that what?
Disruptive marketing.
I guess I'm being disruptive.
Which it's actually very good. It's a great method. Do you know who Judy Dupart is? Miracle Drops lady?
No.
Okay.
I have to look into that.
Well, ask your girl. She probably know who Miracle Drops lady is. Judy Dupart. But she took the WAP song and she turned it into LAH, right? And she did this whole entire big music video and put it out there. But she has historically, and I say historically because now she's a millionaire, billionaire possibly, I don't know. But she's very wealthy, doing very well for herself, but she has historically used disruptive marketing, basically taking things that you think about, like Gino was saying earlier, maybe your parents should have told you to turn that rap song into something with your homework inside of it. Yeah. She did that with her product. So it's actually a very good way to market. It gets attention, and as long as you're consistent with your meaning.
Yeah. It definitely does. It gets attention. Like I got a big tattoo to say FU2 forever.
Yeah, the whole mask got my attention. I was like,
but it is something we've been able to do fundraisers and everything with Mitsubishi, which is the company that I work for, off of our brand, because they stop and they ask now, like, hey, they don't ask anymore because they know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But being on the street and having people take that second glance and look and then be like, oh,
ask the question
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starts a convo. Yes, it does.
It definitely does, man.
We've had to explain that for over 2 decades strong.
I don't think that explanation is going to go anywhere.
No, it's still going to be needed, because as soon as they see those 3 letters or two letters in that number, they automatically, it's just.
If I want to tell you something, that's called good business.
Yes, exactly.
That's called good business. That's a continuous marketing phase that allows your business to always be questioned. And when you create a need, now they need an answer to the question. Yeah. Now you have an opportunity, although it's a nonprofit, but to sell whatever your product may or may not be, or to give your service for whatever it may or may not be.
Yep. So we got two. We got a for-profit and a nonprofit.
Oh, see, yes, sell the product. Yes.
It is definitely good, and it's something, man. We got a lot of stuff in the works, and I look. Both G and myself, we gonna have to send her.
Y'all know what? We gonna have to have a private conversation because everybody can be having our business ideas. You know what I'm saying?
True that.
Right, that's all over YouTube. Yeah, no.
Hey, they could look.
I have to start proofing these bad boys before they come out, because some of this stuff I'm like. I'm dead serious. I'm gonna text y'all about a possible influence position that I might have to go over some of the videos and be like, okay, that part gotta be cut out. That's gotta be cut out.
Okay, dig it.
Well, before we have too much more
editing, really need her coin, okay?
Yeah. That's now that I know that, I'm gonna make sure that I keep
stay on financial topics.
Editing myself, yeah, because that's a lot to go through. And then to edit the videos. Yeah. So we got to definitely make sure that we stick to what we're supposed to. But no, nonetheless, I mean, either way, it's great convo. I know there's, the politics of things, and we have to do that. But understood. And we'll do whatever it takes to make it right. No problem. We don't mean to offend anyone out there at all. We just want y'all to talk with us, to us, at us.
Definitely.
Pop locking. Wild pop.
We want y'all to come on in.
Right. But no, it's been great, Sabrina. We're going to let you get back. I know it's getting late. And
I know. I have a meeting.
Okay, well, you go ahead and handle that. Thank you for giving us your time. We appreciate all the convo today. Let us know anything that needs to be cut.
Okay, I will.
Right. But it's all good. And in the description on YouTube, people, is all the ways to connect to Sabrina Lewis, Miss Black Texas USA 2020. So thank you again. We appreciate it. And I guess we had a lot to catch up on since it's been a couple of weeks. So they had to let us.
They got all 3 episodes in one.
Yeah, exactly. We don't disappoint, do we? But hey, you're gonna end the show with us. This has been the show, because it is even time for us to go. We've gone over.
Check out time.
So, yeah.
Night, y'all.
Good night, and good luck to everything you're doing. We'll be in touch. We'll see you next Tuesday. And be safe, be well. All right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. That was Miss Black Texas USA 2020, y'all. Sabrina Lewis. Go check out the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share, and donate. She needs y'all to donate. That's all.
Please donate.
Yes, that is important. Please
donate.
Please. I know it's hard. I know it's rough out there.
$5 goes a long way in my world right now.
I'm sure 5 of us could put $1 together and make 5. So come on, y'all. Let's do it. Let's help out. But it's always for a good cause and a good reason too. So that's another reason to help. So thank you guys. We appreciate everybody. We got to go. I got to figure out why my camera ain't working. But you guys take it easy. Stamp. Hey, it's been a good show. I mean,
definitely was, man. Loved every minute of it, man.
Middle school music with an IQ, because we dropping that knowledge. F.M.P Radio keeps it 100. You've been kicking it with me, Gino V.
And your boy, COVID-free, STAMP. You did.
Guys, I cannot hang up.
Stay woke. 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 Stay woke.
Hey, what time is it, nigga? Oh, shit, 12 o'clock. Oh, shit.